there this idea, you think, that no matter who you put in that chair in front of the computers in Nathan's research facility, that the power will ultimately corrupt, and therefore, no matter what's there, as long as they're human, shit is going to go down, and it's not going to end well. I'm just thinking of people like, look at the real life people. You have an Elon Musk, right, who has created some of the most incredible technology. He just created robot.
Yeah, right, it was probably worse. Yeah.
He just created a robot that Kim Kardashian bought, and she's posting all this stuff on social media, reacting with the. It's very basic, but it's kind of like Ava 1.0. It's reacting to things that she's doing and saying hi to her and walking around and doing all these crazy things that are. Going to evolve, I'm sure, with the next generations. But, electric cars and SpaceX and so on. And yet, we've kind of seen him sort of fall off a little bit of a moral and ethical cliff. Another one that I thought of was Sam Bankman-Fried.
Sure,
the ultimate crypto bro that was doing so much, it seemed, for so many, creating vast amounts of wealth. Huge marketplace. He even was extremely charitable himself. Yeah, I believe he was part of made a big pledge to the the effective altruism organization or movement, which you pledge to, I think, donate a large percentage or some percentage of your income, and his income was immense to charities, and he was so charitable, and now he's a distraught, disaffected criminal in jail.
Yeah, he was sharing a cell with Diddy, apparently. I think they were cellmates. Yeah.
What could be a worse punishment than that?
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah.
Let's just put you with the lowest garbage of humanity.
Yeah, I mean,
is there anyone you could put in there, Greg, that would eclipse these people morally?
It's hard to say. Like, I would love to believe that there are people who are, I would love to believe myself that I'd be above it, but I think, I don't know if we're evolutionarily capable of that. I think a big built-in flaw with humanity is the addiction to like dopamine, and how that will fuel the way you live your life. And you get this hit over and over that like we were talking about with Requiem, like addicts require more and more and more because they build up more and more tolerance, and we're just not great at limiting ourselves. So I think you can get someone in there who can work from an altruistic place. I bet at one point Nathan thought he was doing that he thought he was like, I'm making humanity better. There was this great show called Silicon Valley on HBO a few years back. And I remember in like one of the first or second episodes of the show, they talked about how annoying it was to hear tech guys say like, we're changing the world, when they just created a new way to make a spreadsheet or something, and there is this thing in tech very specifically about like, we're changing the world. And I think in order to get to a point where you're so where the idea of creating a life out of parts and data is within your reach, there has to be a part of you that's fucked up. Like, I don't know. And I don't want to besmirch people who are in that world, because I respect what they do, but there are certain things I think in life, like you have to be a little bit of a sociopath to run for president. I think you have to be a little crazy. Like you have to be kind of a sociopath to want that job.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of goes hand in hand with this. There's a part of you that has to be okay with like, I'm going to build something. It's going to become aware, and I'm going to kill it to make a better version of it. Like, you've extinguished a consciousness. I don't know. Like, I can't squash a spider. Like, I get freaked out stepping on a bug. You know what I mean? Like, I don't kill things in my house. Like, unless it's a wasp, because they're assholes and they serve no purpose but to hurt you. I get them outside. Like, so there has to be something built into you that cuts you off from a piece of your humanity and a piece of your own moral consciousness that says like, I am going to be okay destroying something that is, by consciousness standards, alive.
Yeah.
I'm going to wipe its memories and I'm going to destroy it to make a better version of it. And really, it's like, you don't have to do that. Like, you could just let that one exist, but they don't look at it as alive. They look at it as a machine. It's meant to serve us. And so I don't know. And then, but what I'm talking about with the dopamine is like, humans are just famously escalators. Like we have to keep escalating. And I think something crazy happens when you hit a certain echelon of power and money and status. You actually suddenly have real choice. We have the illusion of choice, us people on the ground, the 99.9% of us. When you hit 0.01%, suddenly the world is open to you can have everything you want, anything you want. And it's not that surprising to me that what that becomes, it starts with like yachts and vacations and mansions and buying an island, and it turns into, you know, P. Diddy shit or like Epstein shit. It doesn't surprise me that it gets to that, because you get so used to something. We find a way to get used to luxury very quickly. We find a way to spoil ourselves very easily. And so we have to keep upping the game until you get to like the worst thing. And then you're like, oh God, that felt great. I have to do that again. And I feel like that's Nathan. Nathan has become that, except instead of going to like Epstein Island and doing terrible things, he's creating and torturing and destroying consciousnesses with impunity, because
the Epstein research facility, as opposed to
the yeah. And he's just, he basically created a 1-year-old robot and is like torturing it and poking at it. And I don't know, there's an inherent cruelty to that I think in order to be on the forefront of something like this, you have to, even if it's not built into your character to do that, you have to find a way to make yourself okay with it. And so I don't know if there's anybody that Mr. Rogers, maybe I'm trying to think of like the least terrible people I can think of. Like maybe if Mr. Rogers built an AI, he might not turn into this vicious monster. But I don't know.
Won't you be my AI?
Yeah, like he could do it, but outside of him, I mean, I don't know, Ed Begley Jr. Like, there's a couple of people who I can think of that just seem like really just genuinely good-hearted people, but
right.
Even them, I think, it's like I have a friend who works for the FDA. And she's done, she's a neurologist, and she's done stuff over the years where she's had to do animal testing to test pharmaceuticals, because they're, like mouse brains and our brains, despite size, react to things similarly. So she's had to give them medications, and sometimes it doesn't go well. And, and she says, like, this is for research and it's important. It's stuff that actually matters to humanity and to make us better. And so is AI. It's something that can make us better, but you do have to be okay with a certain amount of damage to your soul.